Hey friends, we are in Miamisburg, Ohio for Quail Con 2024. This is our third year coming. I'm going to go ahead and get some videos of the classes, meet some of the new people, do some interviews with some of the people we've met here before. So it should be a good time. Follow along if you want to see what Quail Con's about, and maybe you can join us and attend one year. Lots of good information, lots of stuff to learn, and lots of new friends to meet. Alright guys.
Top of the builder's workshop, all that stuff is 45 minutes. That will give everybody 15 minutes to do whatever you want and go to the next class. So we're not rushing. That was the big thing we heard last year, was we were taking up all the time and people were running to the next class. So we're going to take it a little bit easier today. When you leave, you'll just leave the same way you came out or came in. And
why you want to process quail. So for me and my house, we are eating them or showing people how to process them, and anything that is left over goes to the dogs. Sometimes you'll have where you're selling them to reptile people or falconers, and they need to be.
Do the cull portion of it real quick. So a lot of people have injured birds or have a lot of birds that have to go to a falconer or whatever. So when you just want to call a bird out and they need the bloodless call, what we call it. So what you want to do is take the base of the head.
And what that's going to do is most all of your organs sit at the top of the spine. So when you cut both sides, as he is doing, this kid has helped us for, this is his third year. How old are you, Lane? 8. So he started this when he was 6. Yep, so what you'll see when he peels this out, and peel it out so they can see what you're peeling. It's okay if the guts get on the table. Alright, so it makes it so everything's easy to access.
So that's how they put stuff to their back, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And there's many things you can do.
Let them dry, put them through a food processor, and then I bought a little So, right off the bat, I will openly say we are accidental farmers. We did not plan to have a farm. We did not plan to have a farmstead. We bought a tiny little farm, just 5 acres in 2021. Now, it just ballooned into this massive thing. Like, she had a 5-year plan that she accelerated till now. So our farm stand now exists and generates funds that actually pay for the entire farm. In fact, our farm stand is 100% profit because quail pays for our entire farm. So,
never thought about the for-profit side of it until COVID came around. We always had our animals in our garden and we would just supply our own stuff, and then COVID came around, everybody's like, man, you have any chickens for sale, or you have any vegetables for sale, or do you have any seeds, or anything like that. People just were looking for things to do. So we kind of started towards the for-profit side of it. And my first goal wasn't necessarily to make money. My first goal was like, if I could hit this target money every week to pay for the farm and still supply food for my family. So kind of like a break even. It sounds weird, business, and you looking to break even as your goal, but that was my goal. And we hit that goal, and we started like with an excess of money, and then we started making improvements.
Can do is raise rabbits over quail. That's what my system has been. I call it a raviary because I hadn't come up with a fun name, and it's always a party. R's for rabbit, aviary. There you go. So that's what I call it. I just recently moved to a larger property, but when I was in a smaller property in town, 7,000 square foot.
We have to do things a little bit different, and this is one thing I'll say before I keep going on, because it's going to be a little bit different depending on where you are. Find a local beekeeping club or association, plug into your local people, because they know what the flowers are doing, what to prepare for. They're going to be able to say, hey, we have this problem. You should make sure you're taking care of that in your place. They are invaluable. Supply stores are really good for them.
Doesn't work for me sometimes.
Yep.
Doesn't work for the colony sometimes. There's a lot of different ways to keep bees. This is one way. You can keep bees in a tree. You can keep these in a long bar hive. You can keep these in one of those.
Flow hive.
What about winter when you get freezing?
Uh-huh.
How do you deal with the water? And I figure all you gotta do is keep them drying out of the wind, right?
Yeah, as long as they stay dry out of the wind, they're fine.
What do
As
you
far
do
as
for
what to do
water?
with their water, I just let them, I fight it out. No, I'm kidding. I put I use a heated waterer right now. So I run an extension cord out to my hutches. I pare down my quail in the winter, so I've only got one hutch. I've got a small amount of birds in there, just enough to kind of start up. I pare down to usually like 15.
Good morning, friends. We are at Quail Con Day 2. They have a long list of classes happening today. I'm actually sitting in the Viking house on property to record this because they have a lot going on outside. You can hear the kids in the background in the bounce house. It is an exceptionally family-friendly event, so if you're concerned about bringing kids and if they'll have something to do, there's always something to do here.
To clean here. So I bought a big roll of corrugated cardboard, and I just use this as a template and then make my own. One thing I'll point out here is that this looks like packaging, and a lot of times people would just throw it away, right? So now I write on here, patching mat, or use that lockdown. Like, do not throw this away. This side down, so they make sure that the slippery side is down and the ridge side is up. And believe it or not, I have people who ask me, I want this back after they're patched on it. I'm like, no, I'm just going to put discard after these. So, there we go. There we go. All right, what's next?
I picked them because tiny humans, tiny goats make sense for me, right? But there's lots of breeds you can get into. You can do meat goats, which are boars or kiddos, or the fainting goats, the myotonics. Those are actually also a meat goat. They're very small, or pygmy goats. So if you're looking for a food source, you can go that route. If you're wanting a dairy goat, oh my.
I looked at them, they were smaller than my eggs. I have standard birds from here. So I don't have the jumbos. They were smaller, they were cracked, some of them were dried out, you could just tell they were dry. So she said, I want to do local, I want to do your eggs. So I brought her the 20 dozen, I hatched more quail, because I needed more. Brian built another cage.
Wisconsin. 5B is my technical zone, but I'll break the zones down a little more. You guys all know your zones, right? Do you guys know what the zone refers to when they say, you know, you're in zone 6? Do you know what that refers to? Anyone? Yes, the coldest temperature you get in the winter. That's the average coldest temperature you get in the winter. So where I live, it's very cold for a section of the year. It's not terrible, but that's just an average.
Dan, I don't like to. Hey guys, good morning.
Hey!
Good morning.
What's your names, YouTube channels, farms?
I'm Katrina Krakow, Sow and Tear.
Bernie Young, Base Place. Melanie Ward from Battleborn Urban Farm. But the channel's seriously back.
Yeah, we keep waiting for you to put videos on the channel. When are you going to do that?
Somebody keeps doing work and doesn't tell me so I could go film them.
I
He
understand.
doesn't think he's interesting, but I do.
We always think they're interesting. All right, guys, I'll see you after a while.
Have fun.
So we have Wynola Ranch here. We did an interview with them last year. They're here again with some good deals on cages And what's the website?
Quailcage.com.
Quailcage.com. I always go to Google Granola Ranch, so but yeah, we have their cages at home. They're one of our favorites. If you haven't got cages yet and you're looking for something that's easy to keep clean, this is the way to go. These are your new feeder systems, right?
Yeah, they're somewhat vacation feeders, what we're trying to call them, since
Yeah.
you could just drop them, go out.
I really like those. Those look like they're going to be very low waste.
Yeah, they're super easy to install. Just 2 hooks and you're good to go.
Yeah, we're going to invest in some of these when we get home. I know Aaron talked about cages already, so. The water troughs. This too is something we need to get from vacation.
Yeah, they'll keep the water flowing.
Especially when you have a lot of birds in one cage.
Yeah, it helps keep them tame too, since they can see the water.
What's a regular price for a system like this?
I would have to double check. For a standard 2-tier, it's sitting at $349. We do have like a promotion going on right now that all the accessories for like a 3-tier and under is $100 in accessory credit, and a 4-tier and higher is $150 in accessory credit for Quail Con only. But as far as it goes, with all this extra, what do you think, Nash? 20. You're looking at about $360 to $380. Yeah. For this exact system that we're raffling off.
And that's a good price for that. Especially, we have tried other systems and we just didn't, and they do cost more, the other system, and we just did not like the cleanliness of it. And this was the easier system to use. So we recommend it to everybody. All right, guys. Well, I'm glad to see y'all again this year. And it's always a fun time.
They're all turnips, but I don't know if that's not up
to the brand, because it's not going to be good, and that's what we have before. So you're always engaged with the cage and you're cleaning it.
Yeah, if you make a deeper tray, people are going to want to leave it there longer, and that's not the best for the bird. So a lighter tray, like we did it here, is ideally so you have to clean it in every 1 to 3 days max. Some people let it go for a week, but the main concern with that is not the bird itself, it's the user. We don't want anyone to get hurt and pull the tray and it all falls on. That'd be a very
2 pounds, 2 1/4 pounds. And squabs underneath the nest can actually weigh close to the adults, but they're mostly fat, so they use really fine, like French kind of cuisine. But they taste good. They're prolific, and these actually fly pretty well.
Is that one full grown?
I'm sorry, what?
Is that one full grown?
Yeah, this is full grown male. And I wonder what a sex bird, this is actually a hen. I thought it was kind of like that, but if you fill in the pelvic zone,
go to the food. So we're sharing that with you because that was kind of a big deal. So when it's cold,